Hey, so today we're going to talk about overcoming your fear as a hairstylist so that you can move forward. And I know a lot of times if you are working in a salon chain, your services that you offer are limited because you have to follow corporate policies and procedures, and you only can offer those services that they have listed on their menu. Or you may be a new stylist and yet you don't have a clue as far as where you want to start once you get out of cosmetology school, because in the cosmetology school, they really don't teach you the business aspect of working in the industry. It's more technical, more practical. So you're learning the hands-on per se. And then you may be in business for a while, but then you have gotten stuck and stagnant. And in the way that things are changing right now, the economy, and so everything is just like up in limbo, and you don't know what's going to happen or what to do next. And so that is when fear creeps in. And so I wanted to come on and talk about that and let you know that you're not the only one that is experiencing that. And so I'm going to give you some tips on what you can do to, again, overcome those fears as a hairstylist or a beauty professional, but so that you can move forward. And before I get into that, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Precious Rutlin, and I am a hair growth consultant. And I have a firm, Precious Rutlin Consulting. And so I teach psychologists, stylists, beauty professionals how to get into the industry and incorporate holistic health, hair health into their business model. And one of those things that I do is to show them how to begin to incorporate the science of hair into their business so that they can be able to identify their clients' hair and scalp issues and help them to solve their problems. And so as I began to start working with the hairstylist and the trichologist, what I'm hearing back as far as feedback is that, again, it's fear of the unknown, fear if you're which direction to go in your business, or just fear of stepping out. But there is one thing that I do know is that the fear that you allow to get in the way is your own thinking. And we have all become victims of our own thinking. I too myself have been included, so I'm not exempt. But it's going to take a lot of being intentional about overcoming those fears and facing them. And one of the things that I noticed is that some stylists may feel like they don't have the support, or they may not have all the resources that they think they need. And of course, again, it goes back to the mindset, because you had that repetitive song, I want to say, played over and over, and you keep running into the same situation. So then it's like, okay, when am I going to finally get out of this rat race? And so the first tip that I want to share with you so that you can overcome your fear is that you need to change your language as far as how you're speaking about your situations, about what's going on, how you want to move forward in your career, how you want to move forward just in life in general. You're going to have to change your language. What do I mean by change your language? So instead of saying that, I struggle with, XYZ, you can soften that word and change that energy around that word and flip it to something like, well, in this time, in this moment, this isn't working for me right now. And, and put a positive energy towards it and just saying, but I'm working through this and I know that it will be okay. So that sounds a lot better when you speak it and you hear it back versus you saying, well, I'm struggling because I'm at this corporate job and it's not paying me enough, and I don't know. So that just brings over a whole, I guess it just brings your whole energy down if you want to think about it that way. And then again, what I just mentioned, it continues to reinforce, because that's all that you're speaking, and then what you're speaking, that's all that you're seeing. And then again, that's when those thoughts and feelings begin to connect, and then it just continues to spiral down that whole loop, and it's very hard to get out. And then you end up being depressed, or then you end up feeling some type of way about the hair industry, and you decide to get out of it because it wasn't serving you or wasn't giving you what you were hoping to look for, because statistics shows that stylists, they typically normally stay in the hair industry for at least 5 years before they get out. And so I can't let that be you, because you got into the hair industry for a reason, for a purpose. Hair was your passion. And so I want to definitely encourage you to stay in the hair industry, because I can just tell you that I've been where you are, and there've been several times where I thought about giving up and getting out the industry, but I still just keep coming back to loving healthy hair. And so it's about just finding where you fit in your life, like where does the hair business like really fit in your life, and what it is that you want to do. So that's tip number one, is to change your language. Number two, you want to look for positive reinforcements for what you just reaffirmed. So for instance, I just gave you the example about changing your language, to change that energy around it, to soften it. And so let's go with social media, for example, and I'll use myself. And so being a trichologist, that's I want to say a tough situation, not really tough, but hair loss is a very sensitive topic. And when you get on social media and you're talking about hair loss, it's hard to tell if you're really reaching the audience that you want to reach, because you don't have a lot of people responding back to you on the hair loss, because one, they may be experiencing hair loss, but they don't want to say anything because they don't want other people to know that they're going through hair loss. And so they prefer to just contact you privately, which is fine. But on my end, looking at things, it's like, okay, well, I'm putting out this good information. I'm teaching, what is going on with the hair, why you're experiencing hair loss. But then I didn't know how effective it was or wasn't, because again, I wasn't getting that interaction or that feedback. But now, looking back at things, like if I had to continue to stay in that cycle and just be like, well, I'm going to stop posting, I'm going to stop showing up because I'm not getting the feedback that I'm looking for from particular audience or from those that are suffering from hair loss, then I could have just easily given up. But I knew that, it wasn't time for me to give up, that I just had to continue to find a way to reach my people so I can get out here and help them. And so that is what I'm sharing with you and teaching you how to do. So it's about recognizing, okay, I may be in this place, but what can I do to keep working this to really get to where I want to be. So it could be a number of things. It could be that you're not talking to the right audience. It could be that you're in a location that really isn't favorable for the hairstyles or the techniques or the services that you want to offer. But whatever the case may be, you have to change and reposition yourself, and you have to, again, pour into yourself, speak positive things over yourself, positive affirmations if you're an affirmation person, or if you can't really get into affirmation, there's such things called affirmations, where you would ask yourself questions to get to the positive answer. So that was a new thing that I learned about affirmations, about that book. So that was really good. But needless to say that you can overcome this fear. Again, it all goes back to mindset, which will get me to this last and third point, is that you have to take what you have and implement it. And so if you're really feeling like, man, I just don't have the resources, or I just don't have the support, okay, now we need to address your mindset, because you always have the resources, you always have the support. So for instance, right now, you're sitting here listening to me teach on the subject about overcoming fear. So right now you're getting some information, you're pouring into yourself. So I'm pouring into you, letting you know that it's okay. And I'm giving you some strategies on what you can do to pull yourself up and change your situation. And so I'm quite sure you've invested in other classes, trainings, and some of those trainings you may not have even opened because you've been so busy, either behind the chair, or you've been dealing with family events, kids, especially if they're at home right now, virtual learning. So you have to deal with all that, and you probably haven't even gotten to some of these trainings that you've purchased and bought. Or you may have went through all the trainings, and then you just, for whatever reason, haven't implemented. And because, you just don't know where to start, you could just be feeling overwhelmed, and, just because of what has happened to you in the past, or you really just may feel like you don't have the confidence, or you just don't know where to start. But whatever the case may be, the last bullet is for you to overcome your fear, is that you have to take what you do have and implement. And so a lot of times it's not necessarily that you need to take another training, because you're the bomb.com at what you do, but it's just a matter of how do you need to go about packaging yourself up and getting yourself out here, letting your light shine amongst your other stylists, and not feeling intimidated that somebody's going to hate on you, or that you're not able to shine. And so that's one of the things that I do offer as a service, is that I do offer discovery sessions for hairstylists that may feel like they are stuck, like they do have this information, but they just don't know where to begin implementing. And so if that is you, I would definitely invite you to do a complimentary discovery session with me, so we can talk about where you are in your business, where you would like to go, and we can get you on the road to, being successful, because you want to be in this hair game for the long run. And you possibly may be wanting to incorporate holistic healthcare into your business. And I can definitely show you how to do that. And so if you would like to do a complimentary discovery session, or you want to continue to talk with me and be in my community and learn about when I have upcoming trainings, or you just want to get weekly business tips like this, or even be a part of the community, then I'm going to go ahead and invite you to text the word business to 1-833-260-8255. 9080. I'll make sure I put this in the comments as well so that you can get this information. But that is all that I have for you today. So again, those are my 3 tips for overcoming fear as a hairstylist so that you can move forward. Do me a favor and put in the comments if this video training has helped you. Okay, until next time, see you later.